welcome back to Pug News. Unfortunately, we will not be having the Wizards fight segment this episode, but stay tuned for another week to see who wins. But before we get onto that, we have some major Nerdcraft news. Emperor Spike Viper has released a possible release date for Nerdcraft. He has said that he is aiming to release on June 5th or sooner, but it's unknown if he will be able to make that deadline. He also put up the DIN map, which can be viewed from the link play.spookgrouper.com. Now, here to talk with us more about that is CSI. Welcome to the show, CSI. So, are you planning on playing Nerdcraft Dark RP?
When it comes to playing Nerdcraft Dark RP, I'm definitely on the fence about playing it now, considering recent actions that have taken place surrounding the Prime Minister elections. It's made me realize that I thought things were changing for the better in the community in a way that would allow all of us to come together and create better change for the community. But I've come to realize that this is just a false reality, a facade. And I don't know if I want to participate in that because it doesn't feel right participating in this, in a thing that I have no control over.
I see. How do you think this Nerdcraft is going to perform or rank among other past Nerdcrafts?
Nerdcrafts in the past, I've always held Nerdcraft Global 3 to the highest of standards. Like, that is the pinnacle of Nerdcraft. And Nerdcraft Global 3, I believe, is the pinnacle of Nerdcraft. It was the greatest time of economic freedom, of choice, freedom to do whatever you please. But Nerdcraft Global 3 is definitely the standard I hold everything to. And Nerdcraft has been on a decline since Global 3. You had the Mars, Nerdcraft Mars, and that one was a very limiting Nerdcraft when it came to the water buckets. You couldn't use water buckets, you had to make aqueducts of all things. And this was a very limiting Nerdcraft. And then you go further into next Medieval, the second Medieval, which actually was pretty fun what I was able to play on it when I wasn't banned for absolutely zero reason. But, excuse me, I just go very deep in the thought. But, I just fear we're not going to have any control over anything we do. And I also fear very high land prices, very high startup. I feel it's going to be impossible for people lower down to get a start because our money has no value. We're trying to create value as we go. And I would have proposed things to change that, to make our money more valuable if I was elected senator, but like I said, with the way things currently are, I don't think I'm going to be participating much. And
do you think Spike's taken a good approach to this Nerdcraft so far?
But so I think this one is going to be stylistically very decent, but it's going to rank rather low when it comes to freedom to do what you please. You're not going to be able to go out and start your own town, to be able to develop your own small community that also is in sequence with other communities. It's very forced Nerdcraft, if you get my meaning. I don't think Spike's taken a very spectacular approach to this Nerdcraft. Like, yes, there's the government, but the government doesn't really have real power. And that's just not right. And it doesn't protect the will of the people like it should be able to. We're still very much subject to the will of Spike rather than our own personal will. But yes, I think that answers all the questions pretty well.
Well, thank you for joining us, CSI. But before we get on to the political segment of our show, here's a quick word from our sponsors.
In a surprising turn of events, direct voting for the Prime Minister elections have been cancelled, and the Senate will be now voting in the Prime Minister. This, combined with Shuba leaving abruptly, is likely to shake up the Prime Minister field. The other two main Prime Minister candidates at this point appear to be Senator Pope and Chief Justice Tyco. All other candidates are unable to run due to not being a senator. This combined of shoe believing is likely to make the elections easier to win for Tyco and harder for Pope. In other news, a Senate subcommittee called the Senate Select Subcommittee on Development in Nerdcraft was created. This subcommittee will likely be drafting most of the Nerdcraft development laws.
Today, we have lots of economic news, and an interview with Senator Mellow from New Yam. One of the newest economic opportunities in the nation is the ability to own a radio station. So far, there are only 4 radio station spots, and all have been purchased. The first 3 radio stations were bought for 75,000 credits by Honk, Spook Fooper News Plus, and Tyco. The 4th one was bought for 90,000 credits by Surge, and has now become Etho News, or Etho Radio. In some stock market news, the top 5 most valuable companies have changed. They are now Potato Holdings Incorporated, Imperial National Bank, The Ideal Corporation, and Tyco. The most valuable company having a value of over 300,000 credits, with the least valuable having a value of over 170,000 credits. Here to talk with us more about the stock market is Senator Mellow. Thank you for joining us, Mellow.
Alright, glad to be here.
So what's your current opinion of the economy?
Well, I mean, the economy is kind of in a weird state right now, right? You have the UBI, which got greatly decreased due to the sillies or whoever introduced a new tax and UBI plan. And then you also have Nerdcraft coming around the corner too. And with Nerdcraft, we believe, at least with me and some of the people I work with, we believe there's going to be a small little recession, right? And then from there, there's going to be an exponential boom of money if people can actually afford to, build a Nerdcraft, as CSI was saying earlier. So the economy's kind of in a weird little spot right now. You don't really know what's going on at the moment.
Okay, so with that in mind, what would you say is the best stock to invest in?
Honestly, I would say companies that recently got recognized as banks by the MOF are great stocks to invest in. Or instead of a stock, opening a bank account with that company if they offer that, because that's pretty much a way just to get free money, basically, at an increased rate other than the UBI.
So now that you're the senator of New Yam again, what are some economic plans that you want to introduce?
I would really, really, really like to promote more business within New Yam. New Yam is the economic powerhouse of Vuperia, and I would love to further expand that and really dominate all the other districts with our economics. So focusing more so on small businesses and growing what we already have as a district.
Okay. So do you think that the change in the PM elections will have an effect on the economy?
Well, it really depends who's elected, but honestly, yeah, it's gonna affect it no matter what, because whoever's the PM is gonna influence economics and stuff like that. It won't be too bad though, nothing major will happen off of it.
Okay. So that's all the time we have for today, and thank you for joining us, Mellow.
Of course, I love you, LJ.